Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of AgriVision. We're your hosts Megan Clark
and Kesley Holgraver.
Let's get into this week's stories. Iowa legislation passed this August is helping out graduated veterinary students, according to Iowa Senator Miller Meeks. A local dairy is booming this year with production as they milk and raise 1,300 head of Holstein dairy cattle. And with our Students Who Succeed in Agriculture Spotlight, we had the chance to speak with Cole Toby, a producer in rural Clinton County, Iowa. But first, we had the chance to speak with the Director of 4-H Programming in Muscatine County, Katrina Bostwick. She expands a little bit about the opportunities available for the youth in the area. Here's more.
Katrina Bostwick is the 4-H Program Coordinator in Muscatine County and works at the Iowa State Extension Office. 4-H is a youth program focused on various project areas. Students can join one of 9 4-H clubs in Muscatine County where they do monthly meetings with other members. There are currently about 230 students enrolled in Muscatine 4-H, both from rural and urban backgrounds, and their focus is on serving the community and learning new skills. Some of the areas students can learn skills in include home improvement, food and nutrition, livestock, horticulture, agronomy, and many more. Students select their project area and create something to exhibit at the fair. In the case of livestock, they purchase or raise breeding or market animals. 4-Hers must be able to explain the project, goals, what they did, and what they learned in order to receive a ribbon.
It helps to build skills in communication and leadership, as well as citizenship. So doing service projects with your club is a huge thing. And, having the independence to be able to choose what you want to do and then create your own project really helps kids to learn about it, but also to develop their own passions.
For members who show livestock, the bonus with 4-H that individuals may not find on the open jackpot circuit is the opportunity to learn record-keeping skills that will help them in the future.
So 4-H, one main component is record bookkeeping, and so within that, we really stress that our youth take track of their financial portion of their project, as well as, to be able to look back throughout the years and see kind of how they're growing. And so I think that's a really important part of it because if you're really trying to get into the livestock industry, you need to understand the business side of things as well.
For 4-H youth this year, a virtual fair and showmanship competition was held to allow them to show off their projects. Videos of the projects or animals were created and submitted online to a judge. The judge then viewed the video and wrote comments back to each exhibitor. They were placed similar to how they would be in a real show, but Bostwick said the judges offered more comments than normal to help exhibitors prepare for future shows or even for next year's project. Extension was pleased with how the virtual event came together and for all of the support they received from the community. If you are interested in enrolling your child in 4-H, you can contact the Muscatine County Extension Office.
I am a part of my own 4-H club here in Clinton County, and I'm serving as the vice president, but I've kind of shifted more to the president role because my older sister, who was the president, has gone off to college. I've also got the chance to do one of my favorite things through 4-H, which is showing cattle at the Clinton County Fair, as well as the State Fair in August. Kesley, you're a big part in 4-H too.
Yes, so along with you, I'm also serving as my club's president. 4-H has helped me throughout my 9 years of being in it. Every year I've learned tons of leadership skills, citizenship skills, and so much more with record keeping. And it's something that's going to carry on for job interviews that I can use that skills I've learned. Moving on, Beth Lamp, AgriVision correspondent, sat down with Senator Miller Meeks and talked to her about how veterinarians are starting to get some loan forgiveness for student debt. And also, we're going to talk about trespassing laws on this week's policy segment. Let's take a look.
With the elections coming up this year, I'm sure most of you are familiar with one of our guests. I had the chance to sit down with Senator Marionette Miller Meeks, who is here today to talk to us about the Veterinary Loan Forgiveness Program. When people go into veterinarian school, they often end up going into small animal side of things, which causes there to be a gap in large animal vets compared to the small animal vet. Through this program, scholarships, and help of the community, Miller Meeks explains how we are able to help support our veterinarians that are in rural areas.
Large animal veterinarians are extremely critical. We're at a critical level now. It is also hard for them to be in rural areas. So what we can do with scholarships, loan forgiveness, or working with communities like we've done with individuals in dental school or in medical school, to work with the community to help to support someone to come into that area. I think these are programs that can really make a difference.
When asking Miller Meeks about how the program would pave the way for the future, she gave us this quote.
Sometimes you have federal-state plans that are combined, and sometimes there's federal-only plans but state-only plans. So I think it's both incumbent upon us in a state that gets 25% of its economic growth from agriculture, that we also do our part and just don't rely upon the federal government for that.
For more information about the new incentive program for large animal vets, you can visit the American Veterinarian Medical Association's website at avma.org.
Veterinarians, especially large animals, are very important. We are in contact with our veterinarian all the time. He's here anytime to come out to the farm. If we need anything or need anything checked up on, he's always there. What about you, Megan?
Yeah, the vets are very important to us, especially around calving season. Even if it's a cold winter and in the middle of the night, they'll still come out just to make sure that our cows are doing okay and that everything is running smoothly. Vets are needed all over across the state of Iowa, including just around here at the Blue Hill Dairy. We had the chance to speak with one of the owner and operators, Hillary Birkin. They raise and milk 1,300 head of Holstein dairy cattle, and here's more.
Thanks, Megan. Today I'm here at Blue Hill Dairy outside of Clinton, Iowa, where they milked 1,300 Holstein cows, and today we'll be talking with Hillary Birkin, the owner.
Just outside the city limits of Clinton is the second largest dairy operation in the county. Blue Hill Dairy was started by the current owner, Hillary Birkin's grandfather. Over time, Blue Hill has grown into a substantial operation, milking 1,300 cows each day. Birkin has been involved with the dairy her whole life, and she has grown into new roles within the operation. Birkin explains that the cows they milk on this farm are mainly Holstein, 97% Holstein in fact, with a few of her favorite Jersey cows mixed in. When looking at the two breeds, there are different features that make both of them important. Jersey cows are often smaller and wider, and they produce milk with a higher butterfat content, which is used to make things like butter, ice cream, and cheese. Holsteins, however, are usually much taller and produce milk that we buy at grocery stores. Blue Hill Dairy sells their milk to Prairie Farms, who recently bought out Swiss Valley. Blue Hill has been with Swiss Valley Farms, but recently switched when the companies merged. At Blue Hill Dairy, workers are always on the go, whether it is because of milking or because of the daily tasks that need to be accomplished. These daily tasks include feeding, cleaning, vet checks, pregnancy checks, and much more.
So we have to do everything that like a small farm has to do, because no matter the size of the farm, you have to do the same things, whether you're doing it or you have an employee who's doing it. We have to feed the cows, feed the calves, milk the cows, take care of the cows. Everything that gets done on a small farm gets done here.
Milking takes the largest percentage of their time, however. They milk each of their 1,300 cows 3 times a day, which equals to 21 hours of milking each day. The cows are milked in 7-hour shifts with an hour in between to clean and sanitize the parlor. When they are milking, the workers at Blue Hill Dairy check the milk, clean and dry the udders, put the milkers on, and once the cow is milked, they dip the udders so the cows do not get an infection. After this process, the cows are free to lay down and go back to eating and relaxing. Birkin's role on Blue Hill Dairy is to look after and take care of the hospital cows. These are cows that have been identified as feeling under the weather. With this, she tests for mastitis, a disease in the cow's udder that makes the milk not drinkable by humans.
So there are different kinds of mastitis. One is E. coli, which means basically they got some sort of waste inside their udder, whether it be through their teat or somehow they ingested it. They can get staph strep, which is the same thing as you get from humans. It's spread from cow to cow.
Even with all of her hard work on the farm, Birkin continues to stay involved in the industry as a whole. As I mentioned before, she is currently serving as the 2020-2021 Clinton and Jackson County Dairy Princess, where she helps to promote the dairy industry. This year, she has been traveling to different farms to job shadow workers. Here, she learns about their farm, including the background and the story of the family. She then takes this to her Instagram account to help promote positive agriculture and explain the role that the dairies play in production. For more information about Blue Hill Dairy or other dairy farmers in Clinton County, you can check out Birkin's Instagram account at CJ Dairy Princess.
That was Hillary Birkin with Blue Hill Dairy. This is Beth Blant for AgriVision. Back to you, Megan.
It was really intriguing to hear about all the things that that she does on the farm, what Hillary does on the farm with the hospital cows, and just to look at the size and the scope of the dairy operation.
Yeah, Megan, it was really interesting to see. And also with us in studio is Beth Lamp. Beth had the chance to go down to Blue Hill and see how the operation works. So how's it going, Beth?
I'm doing good, Kesley. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing great. And now that we have you in studio, what did you see that was going on at Blue Hill? Like, what did you see walking around the operation?
Yeah, well, when we got there, we talked to Hillary and just got some background just to kind of understand the operation more before we saw it all. And then we got to see the parlor and what that milking process is like, because it doesn't differ between farms. It's really all the same, but you don't get to see that a lot around here. And then we got to go see the trucks and the feeding, and then we saw them feed calves, and we got to see the area where the bigger calves are kept.
And I know there's a lot of differences as you live on a beef operation and you toured a dairy one. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. Well, for starters, so we do custom feeding at my farm, and we don't have any of the milking process. We don't have to worry about pregnancy checks or looking at the calves and checking them every day either. We just feed them morning and night, or we feed them once a day, depending on the temperatures and how much they're eating. And then we go into giving them their shots that they need at the beginning, but after that, it's really just feeding them out until they are ready for harvest.
And Beth, what was your favorite part about the experience or the favorite thing that you saw while touring?
Yeah, my favorite part was definitely seeing them give the baby calves milk, just because at my farm we do a bottle feeding process, so we just fill it up into a bottle and give it to them just because there's not that many of them. But here they take like a scoop and from a bucket and then put it right into the bucket so the calves can feed them, and that's how they do it, and it's a lot quicker that way.
Thank you so much for sharing with us today, Beth.
Yeah, thanks for talking to me.
Yeah. And keeping the veterinary theme in mind, Beth and Kesley both had the chance to tour the MCC Vet Tech program. Here's what they had to say.
Today I'm here with MCC's vet technician, Michelle Nigg. Nigg is a registered vet tech and an instructor for the veterinary technician program here at Muscatine Community College. The veterinarian technician program at MCC is broken into two groups, the first year and the second year students. In this program, there are 21 first-year students and 14 second-year students. These students mainly come from the eastern portion of the state. Nigg explained that when coming into the program as a first year, some students have extensive experience working with animals, and others are quite limited. Even though they have different backgrounds with animals, the students coming into the program do the same basic work things, like learning how to kennel the animal, how to care for them, and how to feed and walk them properly. The students start by learning about anatomy and physiology. Then they move to radiology, surgery, and anesthetics. They also learn about nutrition and behavioral management. When comparing this program to others, Nigg talked about how once students learn the basics, they are able to get hands-on experience by handling and working on live animals.
Hands-on is actually working with animals, restraining, doing physical exams on them, restraining them for venipunctures or, where we get blood from their veins, actually giving them injections, intubating them, taking radiographs, putting bandages on them, things like that. So very hands-on.
At this program, the students take a board exam, which makes them a registered tech. Being a registered tech means that they can make more money and can go into other things such as a specialty clinic. Vet techs are also able to take a test so that they can specialize. This adds the letters VTS to their name, which stands for Veterinarian Technician Specialty.
Your techs make more money on a whole, and they're also able to go into academia and research and specialty clinics.
Students' experience in the program will vary depending on if the students are a first year or a second year. If you're a first year student, you learn the basic stuff like anatomy as mentioned before, and you're on kennel duty. The second year students will supervise the first year students, which help the students with learning management. The second year students are very hands-on as well. They give injections, do dental clinics, and assist with surgical procedures. When we asked about the job prospects for technician, Nick explained that vet techs are always needed, and it is generally easy for them to find a job.
You can usually find a job, and then you can decide if you like that clinic or not and move on. You can usually always find a job. People are moving in and out of the state. They decide they don't like the job, so they leave. So the prospects are pretty good.
For more information about MCC's Vet Technician program, check it out on MCC's website at eicc.edu/vettech.
That was really fascinating to see all the different things that they have going on in their lab, and also as the need for vet techs grows across the nation, you see more programs that are available at colleges, and it's really nice that we have one that's so close to our area. With keeping students in mind, Kesley's going to introduce our next thing for this week's show.
The next segment we have is Students Who Succeed in Agriculture. Last week, Megan got the chance to meet up with Cole Toby and see where he gave a demonstration on his show cattle. Let's take a look at the segment.
Here I am today with Junior Cole Toby, and he speaks a little bit about his family's cattle operation and his role on it. And we're here at his farm just outside of Charlotte, Iowa. And we have a few of his cattle here that we got the chance to work with today.
Cole Toby is a junior from Central DeWitt High School and is one of the owner and operators of CT3 Cattle Company out of Charlotte, Iowa. When asked about what he does within the operation, he tells us that he wakes up in the morning, does chores, go to school, comes back home, does chores again and makes sure that nothing is sick or anything is wrong within the operation, and if there is, they get to it and treat it right away. Within the operation, they raise show cattle to sell to different 4-H and FFA members, and they also show a lot of the cattle that they raise themselves. Cole has been showing for the past 7 years, and him and his brother and sister show competitively all across the state of Iowa. When we asked Cole a bit more about his operation, he explained that it's mainly a cow-calf operation.
Our operation here is mostly a cow-calf pair operation, and we try to raise some show calves. We run about 100 cow-calf pairs, and we pick the top 10 to 20 to market to 4-H and FFA exhibitors.
Also within the cattle industry, he does a lot of different fitting on cattle and helps other exhibitors all across the state getting their cattle ready at shows. When we asked him about how that process works, he explains that he's been fitting since he was in the 4th grade and has been basically self-taught, but had the chance to go to a Stock Show U clinic to learn more about fitting, and since then he's just practiced at home and got better from there. Cole also explained to us that there's many different hair care things that go into working on a calf.
You start by rinsing a calf by blowing them out when you first bring them in the wash rack. You blow all the dirt and everything out of them. Then if you use soap, you put the soap foamer on and you soap them up really good. And then you scrub that soap in, and then you take the hose and you go from back to front, top to bottom, and make sure that you get all the soap out so they don't get dry skin. And then after that, you go comb through them, and then blow them out and work product into the hair.
During the summer, they try to rinse their cattle twice a day to make sure that their hair grows nice, because having nice hair helps with show presence. Also, you can hide any flaws that an animal might have if you can cover it up with enough hair. Cole also uses his CT3 Cattle Company role for his SAE within FFA. He's very active within FFA, as he's also on his chapter's livestock judging team. Him and the team have judged competitively all across the country, as they've been to the National Western Stock Show in Denver and recently judged at the American Royal in Kansas City. When we asked him about his plans moving forward, he also explained that he wants to continue to judge livestock throughout college and go to a junior college to hopefully be on the livestock judging team. From there, he plans to transfer to a 4-year university to study something within beef embryology and continue to raise cattle in the future. He also explained that some goals he has moving forward with his company are to better his cattle operation by profiting more off cattle and expanding and improving his herd.
That was Cole Toby, owner and operator of CT3 Cattle Company. For more information about them, you can follow them on Instagram at CT3 Cattle Company.
It was very intriguing to see, especially for me, since I don't really have a show cattle background and I'm more of just a beef cattle operation, which we do on our farm. And actually live in studio with us today is Cole Toby. So how's it going, Cole?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm great.
That's good.
To start off, Cole, can you tell us a little bit about the sale that you recently had?
Yeah, so we had our sale on October 19th. We sold cattle to the young 4-H and FFA exhibitors across the country.
Where specifically did you sell to?
There was a few that went as far as Texas, and most of them stayed in Iowa, though. So.
And when you're looking at calves to put on your sale, what are the different things that go through your mind as you're selecting them?
Well, we try to follow the trends in the show ring. If there's like a certain type that's winning, we try to go with that one and make sure that we're picking out the good ones to market to the kids who want to win.
And you talked a little bit in the interview about how you're on the DeWitt Central FFA livestock judging team. How does being on the livestock judging team help you with raising your own cattle?
It helps because we're able to go to the livestock judging contest, see the different livestock, and then we get opinions from other people on what they thought that they looked like. And it helps me at home with knowing what to look for and being able to select the good ones.
Well, Cole, thank you so much for joining us this week.
Thanks for having me.
With that, we'd like to thank everyone that has been following us on this AgriVision journey. We would also like to announce that this will be our last episode here at the MCC studio.
We are excited to announce that our team has been selected as spokespeople for the Pink Tractor.
Pink Tractor is a nationally recognized company, and we will continue to keep doing our segments, especially with students who succeed in agriculture.
We have already started to work on this project, and we are meeting people from all across the country and talking with them and learning their unique stories. For more information, you can look at the new edition of the Pink Tractor magazine.
As always, you can follow our social media accounts on Facebook and Instagram at CAC Media Group. We hope you have a great rest of your day, and this has been Megan Clark,
Kesley Holgraver,
Beth Lamp,
and Carter Mumson
for AgriVision.